The ocean has a way of making you feel incredibly small. You sit on a boat, completely surrounded by blue, looking for something you aren't even sure it's there. Most people look at the wildlife videos and think it's like visiting a zoo. You just show up, park the boat, and they start performing tricks for you. In reality, it's mostly just a massive game of patience. You spend hours staring at the completely flat, empty horizon, wondering if you're just wasting your time. Right until the exact second the ocean decides to show off. Today, I am heading to the shores of Negros Island, right in the central Philippines, and my main goal for this trip is simple. I'm looking for wild dolphins. Now, finding them in the open ocean is usually like looking for a needle in a haystack, but there is a very specific, mind-blowing reason why I chose this exact spot to track them down. The Philippines sits at the absolute heart of the Coral Triangle, which is basically the underwater equivalent of a major city during a rush hour. It is the most biologically diverse ocean region on Earth. To put things into perspective, this relatively small area holds more marine life than anywhere else on the planet, including over 3/4 of all known coral species and thousands of fish species. If you are a marine animal, this is the place to be. But what makes the ocean right here around Negros unique isn't just the pretty coral. It's the fact that the seafloor here is absolutely chaotic, and it plays right into my hands for finding these dolphins. Just a few kilometers from the shore, the earth completely drops off. You have a massive pitch black ocean trenches that go down hundreds of meters, meeting shallow coral reefs almost instantly. This extreme drop-off creates a giant, natural conveyor belt. Deep, cold ocean currents travel across the open sea, and when they slam directly into the steep underwater walls of the island, all that water gets forced straight up to the surface. Along with that water comes a massive wave of nutrients from the deep dark sea, creating an all-you-can-eat buffet for plankton, bait fish, and eventually predators like the ones I'm searching for. Because of this underwater highway, these open ocean animals don't stay miles away in the deep sea where nobody can see them. They hunt, travel, and live right next to the tropical islands, making this one of the most intensely alive oceans on Earth. And that is the exact reason I'm betting everything that the dolphins will show up here. Dolphins don't randomly choose where to cruise or hang out just for the scenery. They are highly calculated. They stay strictly where the ecosystem actually functions, where the food chain is unbroken, the water is pristine, and there is a massive complex of life moving beneath the surface. The specific locals most often seen around Negros are spinner dolphins and pan-tropical spotted dolphins. The spinners are famous worldwide for their insane acrobatic jumps, sometimes launching themselves several meters straight out of the water and spinning multiple times mid-air like absolute maniacs. But knowing they're out here and actually crossing paths with them are two completely different things. It requires a bit of timing and a whole lot of luck, and an empty horizon that tests your sanity. You stare at the waves for so long, your eyes start playing tricks on you. And then, just as the heat was starting to get to me, the horizon completely changed. A dark shape broke the surface, then another. At first, it was just a quick glimpse, easy to miss if you blinked, but within moments, the water came alive. Shapes moving together, cutting through the waves with absolute purpose. We were no longer alone. The wild part about all of this is how smart they actually are. None of what they are doing out here is just random lack of blind instinct. Even those big spins are just how they talk to each other. The sound of them hitting the water sends an acoustic signal that travels for miles underneath the surface. When they hunt, they basically operate like a tight crew. They use echolocation to track fish, block off escape routes together, and literally take turns eating. Think about it. They aren't fighting each other for food. They are coordinating the meal. What's really interesting though, is that the different dolphin families around the Philippines have completely different ways of doing this. It's an actual culture. They are literally teaching their kids these hyper-specific tricks and passing the knowledge down through the generations. What makes moments like these so incredible is how rare they are actually becoming. Because dolphins sit right near the top of the food chain, they act as a massive health indicator for the sea. If they are out here, active, hunting, and moving together in large pods, it means that the entire invisible system beneath them is still working perfectly. In so many parts of the world, coastal dolphins have completely disappeared. Humans have quieted the oceans with relentless overfishing, plastic pollution, and heavy industrial boat noise. And the hard truth is, once these delicate underwater ecosystems collapse, they don't just bounce back. But right here, around Negros, the ocean is still wild enough and alive enough to support them. It's a rare look at the world that hasn't been broken yet. And that's something worth seeing and protecting. At the end of the day, catching a moment like this isn't just about the good luck. It's a sign, a living proof that in some quiet corners of our planet, nature is still doing exactly what it has always done for thousands of years. And for just a few minutes out on the boat, we got to step out of our world, step completely into theirs, and witness it.